If she can't even acknowledge that the men that are her friends would have relations with her if she said, I'm ready, if she can't even acknowledge it, that to me is more of a flag than having a male friend at all.
Hey y'all, welcome to Boundaries and Grace.
What is your take on dating women with male best friends and multiple male friends? I've been told by a woman that her male best friend has been there for her breakups and emotional support. I don't believe that this is something I want my woman to have with another man. Should I put my foot down and say no male friends, or should I simply walk away, or is this something I should accept? In my opinion, I think it's less about men being around, period, and it's more about how she interacts with them. That's the real question. Number one, can a woman acknowledge that 9 times out of 10, especially if she look good, can a woman acknowledge that 9 times out of 10, a man that's friends with a woman is ready to have relations with her? Women, I need you to understand this. I'm not saying that he wants a relationship with you. I'm saying he wants relations with you. I think she's going to be engaged with him in ways that make you look dumb as her man, and may even get into situations that do spark her attraction or interest, and that male friend is already ready to pounce on it. She may even be interested herself and in denial, or wants to play dumb because she's got that guy on the back burner and wants to oversell the idea that there's nothing to see here. Come on, ladies, be for real. If she can acknowledge that most men around her want to have relations with her, at least then she can know, she might know that there need to be appropriate boundaries in place. And she's got to know that she has to assert you as her number one man. If she can't even acknowledge that the men that are her friends would have relations with her if she said, I'm ready, if she can't even acknowledge it, that to me is more of a flag than having a male friend at all. Do y'all hear me? I think that's more of a flag, because that means you're either especially naive and you're going to get caught up in some situations you shouldn't be in, okay? Or you're in denial, or you're lying. That was 3. Or you're lying. And you know what's up. Here's the second thing I want you to consider. Does she see you as her number one man? Or is she one of the types that's like, nobody comes above my friends? That's a flag. Does she fear counting on you and she wants to keep others close as a backup plan? Like as a backup plan of reliability, or a backup plan as I could date this guy if this guy falls off? Okay. Personally, you ask for my take. I think that you need to be with somebody who's mature enough to know that if you're talking about a serious relationship, that person's got to be ready to be all in. I'm not saying that they literally sacrifice everything on week 3. Okay. But you have to be in the mind. It's the mindset. Y'all understand this? It's the mind. Okay. You have to have a mind to be all into the relationship before you even get there. Is it too deep? Is this too much? I really think you need to be with someone who is mature enough to know that in your relationship, you got to be all in. This doesn't mean that you are the only person in her life, but does mean that she is ready to develop the kind of trust that you need to be able to count on each other to really be there, like to be that number one person. And before anybody says anything, it is vice versa, right? Men who are like, it's truly, you never grew up out of middle school. You still talking about like bros before hoes. Honestly, out of my face, please. I don't even have the energy to even give you volume. I really don't have the energy to give you volume at this point. Woman or man who does not understand that your person is the number one person. We're not talking about bros before hoes. We're not talking about homegirl is not like it's my homegirls or nothing. Like those are my ride or dies. Like if that's you, please, out of our face. Like good luck. So yes, it's a vice versa thing. Both people have to be able to assert that person as the number one human on literally the planet. On the and it's not an exaggeration. Like, I'm talking about literally. And the third thing I want you to understand is this. Understand the context of the friendship. This does not mean flexing your values, standards, morals. Absolutely not. But it does mean that you're able to understand context and nuance, and you actually care about why someone does what they do, or why someone has certain preferences or has a certain way about them. You're not so rigid. Here's what I want you to, here's what I would like you to understand. Okay. Understand the context of the friendship. For example, a woman can have a lot of male friends and it can mean different things. For example, she may get along well with men and find it easier to be friends with men. She may be getting something out of men, like she doesn't like to be alone and they keep her company. Here's another one. She may have a career where there are a lot of men, like a career in finance and fitness or in public service. Context matters, right? Are you friends with a lot of men because you need somebody you can call when on the weekend to take you or go get a drink? Or do you have a lot of friends because you happen to get along well with them, or your interests align more with male interests than the standard or typical female interests? Do you just happen to be in environments where there are a lot of men? Okay. So context can matter. Let's go back to this example. If the context is she just fills her time and space with men because it's something to do, she likely has a hard time being alone and likely has a hard time being without external validation. I think you at least have a pink flag there. At least. I think a lot of people will call that a red flag. I'm going to give you some room to explain yourself. But I think, or to change, but I'm going to give you at least a pink flag on that. And I think I'm being honestly kind of nice. And the reason why I call that a pink flag at the very least is because when y'all get into a conflict, she's going to them. If she's not talking to you for, y'all got into an argument, you haven't talked for a day, she calling up Charlie. Because that's been the function of men in her life, is to fill the space and to be a comfort to her. It's not because this is somebody I could talk about. Maybe she really likes sports. It's not because, we talk about sports, we talk about politics, or we have the same interest or something. It's because you're a comfort to me. Here's another example of some context, okay? Let's say she gets along well with men, or she happens to be around them a lot because of her environment or interest, and she already has solid boundaries with them. I wouldn't necessarily consider that a flag. Again, y'all, one of the basis of this part of our conversation is it's not necessary, in my opinion, because this is about my take, okay? I don't think that it's necessarily about whether there are male friends or not. I think it is much more about what the interactions are like and how she orients herself to those friendships. And